this computer. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. And today is the first Unity workshop class. And this is a recorded video prior to the event. The reason why I'm doing this is because my computer crashed a lot of time when I live streaming Unity on Zoom. So I use this way to avoid all the crash on the Unity. So after you watch the pre-record videos, then we will have a live Q&A session, and I will help you to solve your problem. And by the way, this is a course for beginner. If you've already know how to code and can create a small project on Unity, this beginner set might not really for you. Maybe later there, if there's like a media course, maybe feel free to join that. So again, this is for beginner, for somebody who want to learn Unity but don't know how and don't know where to start. So yeah, let's start. Okay, so you can see my screen, right? And today our goal is to start from download Unity to create this little, little rotating 3D cube. Yeah. Okay. So this is our goal, and I will help you step by step to create this. Okay. So okay. So let's go back. Okay. So let me share with you like some basic knowledge you might need to have. Okay, so you can see my deck. Okay, so let's see the first one. Yeah, so today is an intro for this. Okay, so feel free to go to unity.com and then download Unity, right? And you can go to their plans. Usually we use personal, unless you've already made more than 100K, right? Which is possible probably later, right? But right now, if your revenue through Unity is under 100K, you can use personal for free. Yeah, so I would say just keep using personal, or if you want to use pro, right? Pro, it seems like you need to pay $150 per month, but you can get a lot of discount or a lot of upgrade, functions. So yeah, feel free to upgrade your or get the subscription for Unity Pro. But for me right now, I just use the personal free one. Okay, so first you might need to download the Unity Hub first, right? And then after you download it, you can open on the little icon like Unity Hub, and you can get, I would say, start getting your project, new project. Then once you create a new project, you will go to this screen. And this screen is pretty much, asking you like, hey, what types of project you want to create. So yeah, so this is the project that I create and I put on the desktop. And you can create, different, for example, like if you want to create 2D games, 3D games, and URP was URP. It's that, if you want to do AR, VR stuff, and you want to use universal render and pipelines, yeah, those, it seems like it can render something very good using, like really good technology, but, it's helping you to kind of optimize those rendering stuff. So yeah, so feel free to try it later, but today we just use the genetic one, the 3D one. So once you you click this and you need to change your name and change, you know, whatever folder you want to put, right? And then hit the create project. Okay, so later on, you might need to download either one. If you are using Mac, like me, if you use, you know, Windows, everything is fine. You know, if you can just use Visual Studio, it's all good, right? But if you use Mac, and then, you know, Visual Studio, I find out that it's extremely powerful for PC. And then I use Visual Studio in the past. I love it. And then, but for some reason, there are not many suggestions or hint for me. So that's why I switched to the paid one, which is called Rider, right? JetBrains Rider. It's really good. And usually I just keep on using tap, and I finished coding. Yeah, so that one is really convenient, but you need to pay probably around $14 per month. So yeah, those are the website. Choose either one. You don't have to use two. Choose either one, right? Okay. Okay, so another website I want to introduce you is Unity documentation. Go to this site and you can get, Unity, right? You go to unity.com and you can get a lot of, you know, stuff, right? Yeah, so you can scroll down and see all the amazing features. Yeah, Unity is extremely powerful, especially if you want to learn XR. It seems like just by learning Unity, you can do all the AR, VR, MR, XR, whatever are, you probably can create some cool stuff to different device. So it's really good. So yeah, I would highly recommend you to, if you want to go this path, feel free to just learn it, practice it, keep learning, keep failing, and you will get there. Yeah, so that's one of my recommendations. And Visual Studio, it's great. It's for C#, right? It's perfect. Yeah, and then for me, when I use Visual Studio, for some reason, I think it's probably something I didn't sync up. The hint was limited. And usually I need to, you know, figure everything out and Google a lot of, you know, coding, because like under coding, they have some hints, right? And I find out I didn't get enough hints. So I switched to this one. Yeah, right there. It's just like they have so many support, and yeah, I love it. Once, you know, once you type whatever, right? And there will be a lot of stuff drop down. So all I need to do is to use tab on your keyboard, you tab, and then it will autofill for you. So I personally love this one. Okay, yeah, so you can also download it, but if you want to download it, I think there's like 30 days free trial, and after 30 days free trial, you got you know, around $14 per month. Yeah, so it's your call. Yeah, okay, so this one is really interesting. Before, for me, I don't know how to read this. It is crazy. Yeah, but the more you use it, the better you know how to use it, right? So this is like a dictionary, you know, like A to Z, and you want to find like, oh, what's the fruit, or like, oh, what's the, you know, you kind of have some ideas, and you type some keywords, and you will find out, wow, there are so many stuff that can help you to, you know, it's like you type some keywords. I usually, like, the way that I code is that I put, for example, like today's tutorial, right? Usually what I would type is rotating cube. Yeah, rotating cube Unity, right? And you can find a lot of, you know, stuff, right? And then, but the thing is that you can always go here, right? You type whatever you want to do. And then, you know, it's just, the world is so convenient. You don't need to, I usually tell people that you don't really need to remember anything because the internet storage all the knowledge for you, but you need to have you need to have the knowledge to find where it is and get this one, get that one, and put them together and make your own thing. Yeah. So I mean, the way that I code, I mean, I'm a designer. I'm not, I don't know computer science, or I don't have those really deep computer knowledge, but I think by just Google, right, and then start figuring out the rule, right, and find where to find the answer. I think that's a very important role or important thing to learn for me. Yeah, that I think that's how I code. So usually go Google, type keywords, things comes up, copy and paste. If not working, keep typing the keywords until things works. That's how I code. Okay, so you see, okay, so for example, today, you saw today our goal, right? We want to rotate that red 3D cube, right? So all you need to do is Google, right? Google it. And then you find out that, oh, it's transform rotate. What's transform rotate? It means that C# is a nesting language. So it means that there's a big hierarchy, and down there's something under it. It's like a nesting, right? So transform means that it's a bigger category. Under big category, if you see that, there's like a small category under the big one. So transformation, if you go here, right? Yeah, I mean, Unity is like, it took me a while to understand what's everything happening, right? It took me probably around 1 year. So if you don't know what I'm talking about today, it's normal. Don't be panic. Just keep learning, similar to learning English, right? Or like French. I remember when I was in high school, I want to learn French. In the first class, I want to understand the whole thing. And my teacher told me that you cannot, it's impossible to learn a language. So all you need to do is just to study a little bit every day, right? Because I was trying to understand a lot of weird, things that I didn't understand the first class. But I would say just open your mind and absorb all the knowledge without, it's like, I know you might have a lot of questions, but just do it. Okay, so what's transform? Transform is here, right? It's called component. This is a cube, right? And cube has component, has transform component, right? Mesh render. Mesh render is that once it's rendering, and you can see it. For example, if we close it, you cannot see it. Why? Because it's not rendering. And mesh, it means that there's a mesh, right? There are a lot of stuff you probably need to start, learn it. And box collider, what's collider? It means that there's a bounding box, kind of like invisible box. And once you can make it trigger, or trigger means that if something get inside, and it will detect on trigger enter, on trigger exit, right? But if you don't do the trigger, if you don't do this check, then it means that it's just a normal box, right? For example, I want to grab, let's say I want to grab this, want to grab this book, right? Oh, right. If there is no collider, my hand will get into that book, right? But if I have a collider, I can hold that up. Yeah, there are a lot of very interesting physics or something related to all those components. Yeah, and then script. Yeah, script, we will be coding little bit of script. I would say script part, just open your mind and start absorbing what's going on, right? Like little by little, you will get there, right? So today's code is like 2 lines, and you can make a cube rotating. And if something you don't know, it's totally okay, right? Today, totally fine, right? And then, yeah, so yeah, that's, yeah, and red is material, right? Material. There are, material, 3D stuff, it's another world, right? So yeah, so for me, as long as I know how to make things together and it works, I can always, get some resource or buy some resource online. So yeah, I would say Unity is a very powerful game engine, and if you can just learn it, absorb it, and you will feel really accomplished. Yeah, I feel like really happy to migrate from Figma or Sketch to Unity. I feel like Figma or Sketch, you can learn everything within 1 day or a week, right? You can pretty much knock out. But Unity, a few years. Yeah, if you don't have any computer science background. Okay, let's go back to this. Okay, so yeah, so today we will be talking about rotating, right? So transformation means this, right? Transformation, and rotate, it's here, right? Rotation. So, okay, so let's see if this is a cube, right? And there are some shortcut. W means, movement, right? If you do W, it means movement. If you use this, it's E, right? You type E keyboard, E, and then, it's rotate, right? And then if you type R, it's scale. So WER is kind of like this. So it's, yeah, so just get yourself familiar with, if you forgot all the shortcut key, you can always find here. And this is kind of like using hand move around. If you have some 3D background, it might be easier for you. I think the shortcut key is similar to Maya, right? So this is UI, right? So if you see this is for UI. UI we can introduce maybe later, but yeah. And then, what's this? Yeah, oh, okay, yeah. So this is probably from Dimension, Adobe Dimension. It's like, you can do everything in one thing. He's like, you can move, right? If you drag this, right? Yeah, and you can scale, right? So if you want all in one, you can use this one. And what's this? Yeah, so usually we use this in hand. Yeah, and UI. Yeah, that's how I use it. And pivot local, we can talk it later when we probably can talk about some, bullet gun shooting, and it relates to those pivot stuff. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so those are kind of something that we can see. Yeah. Okay, so you see, script is here. And then this is a very important, transform, rotate is a very important, the code for us today. Yeah, so use transform.rotate to rotate game object in different ways. Okay, so the rotation is often provided as Euler angle or quaternion. Those two are very, very, it seems like there's some theories. If you are really interested, you can dive it. I bought a book called Quaternion because I know that is important. And as far as I know, developers spend years just to study quaternions. Quaternions is a very interesting concept. It seems like, like three X, Y, Z, right? X, Y, Z. Those three, and you can use vector 3, and you put those like X, Y, Z, put some numbers, and it will rotate in a way that I couldn't even figure it out. But the quaternion is really this. Okay, so maybe in the future I will study more about quaternion and we can learn more about it. But today we just look at that as simple, some formula that we can use, right? So just think that Euler angle and quaternion are angles. Yeah, just keep it simple. Yeah, for now. In the future, if you want to dive in, just dive in, right? Okay, so go here, right? So for example, you create a cube, right? And there's something called rotation. And we want to apply this to make this rotate, right? What should we do? All we need to do, you see, like gizmo. If you use gizmo, right, and it will rotate its way. And usually we can do something that, we can use the vector 3, or we can use like, game object up, or this up, or right, or, some other code to replace all those, right? So usually it's vector 3. And yeah, so those are very interesting. And I would say that usually you can just copy and paste all those, right? And change your parameter. That's how I learn things. Or you can always Google things and change everything, make it easy. Okay, so yeah, so today, what we are going to do is to create this like this scene, right? And now I'm like going through the whole thing, and later on I will demonstrate you later. Okay, so once you get through all the hard work, right, and then you create some stuff. Okay, so you set up the whole thing, then we will jump into the coding, right? I use right. So yeah, so you can see that I add public float speed 100F. You can change it whatever you want. And later on, we will talk about start and update, or awake. And update, fix update. I mean, those two, sometimes I just use update, but if you want everything to be super accurate, you can use fix update, or you want some physical stuff, physics stuff inside it. Yeah, I usually just use update. Okay, so you can use transform.rotate, right? And then this is the direction, vector 3 up direction. And so this is direction, and this is angle. Angle means that, so you need to tell that, oh, what's the, direction you want. And then once you give them like kind of like a direction, then it will tell you what's the speed you want. So you can set up a variable for speed, and time that delta time just means like the speed per frame or per second. Yeah, I mean, like we can look into that, but usually time that delta time is like in real time. Okay, so speed multiply time that delta time. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, let's dive into the Unity file. Unity file. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, can you see my screen? So this is something that we are going